Hi again, Annie here, and for this little table that we chose last time, I've decided to use a colour. I'm going to go with the Moss Vale because it's a table that I am going to use at home to put plants on. So first thing we do is make sure that your 1 litre tin has the slicker in place, and that keeps the channels on the can nice and clean and clear and stops sort of any rust or anything like that. The other really important thing with chalk paint is that you give it a really good stir, just like you can see I'm just putting a bit of elbow grease into this now, just to make sure that the chalk itself and the emulsion that it makes up this beautiful product is really well mixed in together. The other thing you do is you always just start your piece off with a bit of water on a brush in order to get the bristles just to expand, and now we're ready to go. So here comes Moss Vale. No priming done, no anything. All I've done is wipe this table down, and I've got to get this first coat on. Now the one thing you want to do with your first coat is make sure that you get coverage of that over that old brown timber everywhere. So you can see that here in the detail, what I'm trying to do is really work the colour in so that at least I've got some good coverage for this very first coat. When you're using a colour with the chalk paint, sometimes it can take, because they've got some of the brighter colours, not gelati colourings, they've got a clear base to them, so they can sometimes be a little bit harder to achieve a really strong strength of colour. So we might end up doing 3 coats instead of 2, whereas very often with if I'm doing a white, I'll only need the second coat, and it'll come up really, beautiful and strong. So this is almost like adhering the paint is to the timber. And as long as I can get into every nook and cranny, I'm going to be sure that this first coat is really doing the trick. Don't have to be too fussy about my brush strokes at this stage, because the second coat is where that's going to come into play, when we're going to be just a little bit more fussy about the way we do, say, strokes on the legs or something like that. So see how gorgeous this colour is. One of the great things about Mezzi and Frank chalk paint is the 100% Australianness of it. So they've chosen their colour range on the natural environment predominantly, except for the purple, which is called Dame Edna. Not too natural there. But this beautiful Moss Vale is just a divine green. The other greens in the range are Eucalyptus, which is a lighter green and very true to its name. And then there's Daintree, which is that beautiful, vibrant, bright green. Often when I say to my students in workshops, and they come in and do a class, I say to them, walk around your piece, change your perspective, and you'll always see something slightly different from a different perspective. So you've really got to move the piece around or move yourself around so that you can see it from every which way. And you can see the difference that's making to me, being able to make sure that I'm actually in all those tiny little crevices of all that detail. The other point I really want to make for your first coat about chalk painting is that your biggest enemy, I believe, in chalk paint is the drip. So beware the drip, because it has a sort of a, it's got, let's have a look at one, because it's got a, if I can get one to drip, I'll point it out to you when I get a chance. It has a lump, like a tear, so it's got a streak and a lump. Well, that lump, when we come to sand and distress the piece, is just a telltale sign that it's a drip. There's no hiding the drip when you are revealing some of the timber from underneath, if that's what you're going to be doing. So when I find a drip, I'll just point that out to you. Maybe this is a bit too fiddly for my video to show you coat number 1. It's taking a bit of time to really get the brush into those crevices of all the detail, but it's worth taking the time over. Well worth it.